Can everybody put their mics on, please?
Yep. Okay. Everybody ready?
Ready.
And everybody's here. Okay. The Smithfield Zoning Board of Review is now in session. Meeting date is November 5th, 2025. Present tonight are John Hunt, Ed Savito, Linda Marcello, Frank Smith, Brian Thalman, and Peter Conrado.
Frank.
Oh, Frank. I keep on calling him out. Okay. We have Sharon Gilmore as a recording secretary. We have Kara Ogden as a stenographer. We have David Costello as our board solicitor, and I, Richard Lovely, as the chairman. Donna, Sharon, can you read the activation notices, please?
Sure.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
In the case of an emergency, there are two main exits out of the chamber. The first is to the right side of the stage, up the stairs to the doorway, and down the stairway out the back side of the town hall. The second is out the back of the chambers to the exit doorway to the stairway out the front of the town hall. The men's facilities are through the back of the chambers, past the stairway, around the corner to the right, and the ladies' facilities are through the back door of the chambers, straight up the stairs and on the left. Please do not use the elevator in times of emergency.
Okay. Members, have you had a chance to review last month's meeting notes?
Yes,
So, can I get a motion?
just two corrections before that. Application 25017, both motions, I voted affirmatively.
You voted what?
Affirmatively.
Oh.
So then we're gonna change it to 5-0.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you were voting as a member. I thought you were an alternate.
Yeah, because we were
So I
short
vote
one,
two.
yeah. Frank wasn't here.
So it's 25017. What else for that one?
It was, they were the only two, it was the only case on the agenda, but we amended the zoning district designation from R medium to R80. And I thought it was, we
Yeah, I thought we
amended
had
it from
that captured
R80 to
there.
R medium.
I thought you had that in there.
Correct, Tim? For Peter's application,
It was our medium.
it was R80 and it was,
It was supposed to be our medium. We did submit a revised plan.
okay, so the way it's worded is
Yeah,
correctly.
Correct, yep.
All right,
Yeah, so the resolution is accurate with
Yep.
respect to what the zone is. So
okay, so,
regardless of what this motion, as long as this motion was accurate that night,
yep,
it's covered, because then the motion was couched in terms of, in the event it had to be changed in terms of their application.
okay. Aside from those two those changes, motion to approve as amended?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, approved.
So
Uh,
what is it now? R what? What is the zoning?
The motion's correct.
Yeah,
Oh,
It's
you
just,
have it.
yeah,
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Okay, everyone also received the new calendar. We
Yes.
need to vote on the acceptance of the calendar for next
And
year.
do you wanna, I think Karen mentioned something about looking at the July date. Because last year you canceled the July date. Maybe if anyone knows of their schedule, if they know we're not gonna have enough that week, or because it's July 4th week,
You should,
consider changing it.
You may want to, because I won't be here.
Because everybody's away.
Yeah. And you know what it is, I think, is it a Friday this year?
It's a Saturday.
Saturday, yeah, so I don't think I'm going to be here that weekend, so.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
I won't be here that weekend.
The week of the 4th.
Yeah, that's a tough,
It's always a bad time, but
Well, that whole time, yes,
Yes.
the week, the first.
How about do you still wanna hold a meeting in July? You can still hold a meeting in July. The 8th, probably, the following week.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Also, David, I mean, it would also be on the calendar if anybody's going to be coming in July. They would want to be here in July.
Right.
I think it's all predicated on what we have, if we have.
So,
I mean, if you're just going to have one, I don't think it's,
so for purposes of open meetings, you have to have a schedule in place
Yes,
at the
we
beginning
have to
of the
have it.
year.
Right.
So even if, Ed, come July, it's gonna be tough to get numbers, or there's only one, and it's best to push it off, you can always cancel the meeting ahead of time.
I'll put it down as.
But you have to either, but at this point, you either have to have a meeting set if you're gonna have one in July, or you would just have to not have a meeting in July right now. But your best bet is to have a meeting scheduled in July,
And then
you
cancel.
can
if
always
we don't.
cancel.
Okay, that makes sense.
You want to go with it as it is for the first, or you want to amend
No,
it?
why don't we go to the 8th? Like
All right, so
David
you have
said.
to set the application, amend the application closing date from May 20th to May 27th, 2026, and the date from July 1st to July.
Yeah, everything is in proportion.
Yeah,
Based on that date of the hearing.
Yep.
Which we got to notify 2 weeks in advance.
Okay, so is everybody in agreement with July 8th then?
move as amended.
Yes. Second.
Everybody approve? Yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
Good. So July 8th.
2026.
I'll be here quick. Okay.
Let's give you in 3 weeks.
Can you read the cases, please, Sharon?
Sure. The first case is 23-021, Heritage Hills Property LLC as applicant and owner of property located at 80 Douglas Pike, listed as Plat 42, Lot 138, seeks an extension of a previously granted resolution.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board. This is a request for one additional year extension. It will be the last one. I spoke with the client again this afternoon, and they have reached full design, and they expect to be pulling permits within the next 2 months to start construction. So we asked for 1 more year. It did take some time to get to full design and to get the septic approved by DEM, but that's all done. They're ready to go.
Okay. So can we grant another extension if it's already expired?
So, yes, but I think didn't you apply while it was still
Yeah.
pending?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
So they asked for it while the extension was still, while it
I'm
was
just
still.
going by what's here. It said the expiration was July 24th, 25.
Let's see. We came in originally in November of '23, right?
Yeah.
And then we asked for an extension last fall, which would brought us to November of
December,
'24.
yeah, so you came, this was signed December of '24. So,
I don't think it's. It was recorded on 11/16. The original decision was recorded on 11/16/2023.
I'm going just by this, right?
Yeah.
It says expiration date July 24th, 2020.
so that's gonna be a typo. I'm not sure why it's in that way, because the board had granted it, the extension was granted December 4th of '24. So it would have gone for that year from the original approval, so.
So this is not accurate.
No, that's a typo. So, you're in, they're in line still within their time period to grant the second extension.
So we're taking it from the December 4th date. Correct?
Yes,
December
they'll have till December of
20.
2026.
6, right?
Right.
December what, of the 24th to 26th?
4th.
Oh, December 4th.
Do you want to just do this now or do it through deliberations?
You can do it now.
Motion to grant a second one-year extension for application number 23021.
Anybody second it?
Second.
And just as part of the new resolution granting an extension to correct the original expiration date that was listed in the prior decision.
Do we have a second on it?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the next case is 25-018.
Hold on one second.
Is there any opposed to that? Everybody said aye, so.
Okay.
All set?
Yep.
The next case is 25-018. Carolina Rosario is applicant and Darwin Salcido as owner of property located at 206 Ridge Road, listed as Assessor's Plat 42, Lot 82A. Seek a special use permit under section 4.3.8.4 and 4.4.8.4, animal raising, non-commercial, outdoor, to own chickens in an R-medium district.
Is this you, Tim?
No. I think it's continued. You're continuing it, right?
Is there any,
Respond to, we didn't notice it and respond.
Yeah, she didn't provide required documentation. No, she didn't notify abutters.
So it's not properly even, it's not even properly before the board yet? Right? If she didn't give notice, there's no notice?
Or, I mean, she applied, she didn't do, get the supplemental, were required to get approved. So, yes, she didn't do notice in the butters, there was no,
so it shouldn't have really been on the agenda.
no response from them.
Yeah.
You didn't get a phone call, email to the council, was not one. And they also did not give us a letter saying they want to do that. Put out the
So David,
So they, no, I wouldn't continue. I don't even think it's proper before the board for them to hear it, so I think it just passes off their calendar, for lack of a
Or do
better
we
term.
deny it with prejudice?
So you can't deny it, because I don't think you have jurisdiction to even hear it to deny.
Oh, sure.
no, if she comes back, it's gonna come back as a new application.
Correct.
If the application is flawed, and she didn't get the necessary paperwork for us to hear it,
So why was it
it's,
even on our?
we're not denying it, we're just not hearing it.
So
But she
just be a
comes
motion to
back,
take no action?
she comes back as a new application.
Be no action, right?
Yeah, I don't,
Just pass.
I don't
yeah,
know. It's
just, I
coming.
don't think you take, you don't take any action.
You don't take an action, but if she comes back, it's just like starting.
Starting all over.
Start all
Correct.
over.
It'd be a brand new application.
And fees and
Another
everything.
fee?
Even though it was
Other fee?
presented to us, like, I mean, it was,
Fees and
we
everything.
shouldn't just kind of like wrap it up and say, we deny it based on the fact
Well,
that.
So you can't, if you deny, yeah, but you can't deny
Then
it.
we're
I
saying
think
it
it
was
just-
the actual.
It shouldn't even been on
We don't
our
want to give
list.
it a correct.
Exactly. But if she does come back, it's
How do
a
you-
new application
how do you
with the
address it,
fees
though?
and everything else that goes with it.
Shut it out.
We're just not, it's not here.
Address it.
We're not hearing anything.
Just incomplete application, no action taken.
Right. I think we just put it for the record, as Member Hunt said. Incomplete application, no action taken, not before the board tonight.
Second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Uh,
Any opposed?
Oh, thank you. 25-019. Heidi Gelsomino is applicant and owner of property located at 7 Eisenhower Drive, listed as plat 19, lot 75, 6 variances to deviate from section 5.4, point table 1, dimensional regulations, to construct an attached accessory dwelling unit in an R20 district.
Ready?
Okay, Mr. Kane?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening. For the record, my name's Tim Kane. I'm an attorney licensed to practice law in the state of Rhode Island. I have an office at 627 Putnam Pike in Smithfield, and I do represent Heidi Gelsomino with regard to this application. She is the owner of 7 Eisenhower Drive, and as you know from the site plans, and if you got a chance to go by the property, it's improved by a nice single-family residence with a deck behind it and an in-ground pool. My client is proposing a modest-size accessory dwelling unit to comprise of 592 square feet, as shown on the plan. Her lot is 7,366 square feet, which is perfectly consistent with all the lots in that area. In order to put the accessory family dwelling in, my client needs relief, dimension relief from this board for a front setback and a rear setback. The front setback is, because it's a corner lot, where Nimitz Drive is, that's considered a front setback, not a side setback. It's a unique piece of property. If that wasn't considered a front setback, she wouldn't need relief. She'd meet the side yard requirements, but she doesn't. And she also needs relief from the rear setback. And the change to Rhode Island law, 45-24-38, they do allow relief now on non-conforming lots of record. So when you apply that formula, by right, both the front and the rear setbacks are 11.1 feet. The accessory dwelling unit would be located 6.8 feet from Nimitz Drive, thereby requiring a 5-foot variance. We actually rounded up. It's really 4.3, but I know I think it's better to round up and be on the safe side. And then as far as the rear, that would be 8.8 feet from the rear property line, requiring a 3-foot variance on that. And those are the two.
Counselor, could you just say, what was the variance for the front?
For the front, it was a 5-foot variance we're requesting. And
5 foot from the front, yeah.
in the rear, I'm gonna do the math
3
again.
feet.
The rear is 3 feet. I just want to double check that because I have stared at these new changes to state law for 2 months now, and they're still very confusing. Let's see, minus 8.8. Yeah, it's actually 2.3. It's less than we're asking for, so we rounded up there too. So I'm gonna have my client come up and just run her through a few questions, and I'm sure she'd be happy to answer any questions that the board has. So Heidi? You guys want a second to do that, or you want to keep going there?
No, you can keep, I was just making.
No, I know, I hope it's right. I went through it 10 times with the engineer and us. Could you state your name for the record?
Heidi Gelsomino.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay.
And Heidi, how long have you lived at Eisenhower?
21 years?
And you raised your family there?
Yes.
And how many children do you have?
3.
And are any still at home?
Yes, 2 of them.
Okay, and we've submitted a set of plans to the zoning board, and you desire to construct a modest-size accessory dwelling unit, approximately 590 square feet, is that correct?
Yes.
Basically, a bedroom. It would have a bedroom, a study, and a living kitchen area, is that correct?
Yes.
And who would that be for?
My mother.
Okay. And so it's your desire to have your mom come and live with you?
Yes, she is recently been diagnosed with cancer.
Okay. And long-term, and under Rhode Island law, you do have the right to rent that to a third party, but what's your, long-term plan, for that in-law for your mom and your family? Are you looking to rent it to anybody?
No, long-term it would be either myself or my children.
Okay, and again, you've lived in that neighborhood 21 years,
Yes,
and you're familiar with the character of the neighborhood?
yes.
And do you have an opinion as to whether this small addition would alter the general character of your neighborhood?
I do not think it would at all.
And have you been before the zoning board before?
Yes.
And when was that?
Last time? Maybe about 16 years ago?
Okay, and what was that for?
My pool?
So when you went to do things, you went through the proper channels and came
Yes.
before the zoning? I don't have any further questions for her, so she can answer any questions.
I did visit the property. I think it was your youngest daughter let me in the backyard.
Yeah, big falls.
So I took a look through the whole backyard and the side and everything else. So you got a big tree, this ordeal is not something small either, right? So you're taking down a tree, you're moving a fence, you're probably moving an air conditioner on the side there so you don't hit it with a car.
Yes,
And this ADU is tying into the house by the looks of things?
yes.
May I ask a question? And I'm sorry to hear about your mom, but are there any other disabilities that your mom has? Mobile or anything?
Well,
like that?
she's having some complications from the chemo, so that is part of the reason. She's losing feeling in her hands and her feet,
So basically,
but the cancer is good.
but there are other disabilities that your mom has.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's a different situation, because under the new law, and the list goes on and on of disabilities, whether it's hearing, whether it's vision, whether it's walking. So, and I know, basically, I've been through this in Johnston, that where when there's a disability involved, a lot of things become mute as far as zoning goes.
Right now, she has full use of them. It's the feeling. So we're hoping it will come back. The doctors are not treating her differently. They said that eventually it typically does come back, the feeling. So right now, it's kind of just.
But right at this junction, when she moves in,
She's
there is-
walking. She's
but there
walking.
is some sort of disability.
I don't know that she hasn't been labeled with a disability
Okay.
per se, no.
This is the house. So I went to the backyard, looked at everything there. That's the side, that's the backyard part of it. Looking at it, looks like it's, so the house itself lengthwise is 53, I'm guessing it's 25.
Proposed addition?
No, the house itself, so we didn't have the full square, so I believe it's like 25 by 53 by looking at, we're reading up 12 feet for the driveway, it's about another 12 to the front. So between 12 and 24 feet, it's not gonna be much less than that.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So that comes out to basically 1,325 square feet just for the house.
And so you're qualifying,
We got the house at 13, the deck at 300,
Yeah,
the pool at 512, and the proposed addition at 594. It's at the very bottom of the plan.
yeah.
We counted everything, because I knew Brian would be checking all that stuff.
No, but the pool doesn't count,
Pool doesn't count?
It does.
not according to
This is
building
Gentile,
coverage.
It's a structure.
No.
We went through this.
So it's kind of an accessory structure, the accessory structure.
Okay. So my opinion was, and we don't need relief anyway from lot coverage, we kind of went through this, that we believe that the pool, I didn't want to get caught, Brian, so we believe that the pool counted as lot coverage, so we listed it on the application.
Okay.
Is it above ground?
It's an in-ground pool.
Yes.
In-ground, yes.
so in
And it's a structure.
Nimitz is the,
Like most pools, nobody goes in it. It looks pretty.
And the patio doesn't count because it's concrete, correct?
It's ground cover.
Yep.
Yep. Correct.
and Nimitz is the front,
Nimitz is, because it's a corner lot, it's considered a front door.
right, but is that your actual front, like what house?
The front says on
oriented to
Eisenhower.
House faces
It's on
Eisenhower.
Eisenhower. Where would the cars are parked? front doors are here.
You know, right behind her, the lot, it's a similar lot coverage, if you look at the plan.
Yep.
House immediately behind her. I think it meets, you know, if you go through your test, it is a unique piece of property, it's a corner lot, she certainly hasn't created an undue hardship. I think you could find that, it's obviously not going to general character of the area. It's a good kind of convenience, or whatever the test is now, David.
I'm not voting though, you know?
No, I know.
With the secondary driveway, this does not get a new street address, correct?
No.
The two questions I have are, in looking at the ADU floor plan that was provided on the plan set by your engineer, one, can we get them to stamp it?
Sure, yeah.
The other thing is that we're on a little bit of a slippery slope with the study because more than 72 square feet meets the definition of a bedroom. Is there a way to either eliminate the closet or remove the door? So we don't get into where it's two-bedroom ADU, which has a different,
Well, wait a minute now.
You can have a two-bedroom ADU, that's not, I believe, that's not the intent.
No, but no, you can't have a two-bedroom, as long as you comply with the percentage of the structure. So she could have the two bedrooms, but how they're getting around that is not taking the closet out, basically, because it's storage of whatever. What they're doing is just framing it in, just a frame with no door.
yeah. But there's a
However-
door that's depicted on the plan.
However, I know, I realize that. However, it's 500, what is it?
592 square feet.
592 square feet. There's sheds that are bigger than this house.
I guess my only concern is the application package depicted it as one bedroom.
And I'm sure that that's what it's gonna be. You know, there's just gonna be a frame and no door.
As long as there's no structure that can close and open, I don't take any exception to it.
Where is the entrance from the house? Going into where?
My own house?
From the house to this ADU?
So if you look at the study.
On the back corner where the driveway is? The
So
new
what,
driveway.
coming out of in through the study though, right? From the house to the study?
Yep.
Or from the house, that's what I'm assuming.
See
house
the
to
opening in
study.
the wall, that's
Yeah,
just,
that's why I'm,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure where exactly he put it, but that would be from my house to there.
so the kitchen, living room kitchen is gonna be on the street side? Okay, so
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure.
So is the,
I just had one more. I'm guessing the soils here are pretty good. Could we just make a provision to manage the stormwater associated with the additional structure and driveway to meet the single-family residence requirements?
So you probably want a dry well, right? Is that- yeah.
I think with
Whatever
the, I think with
yeah.
the soils in this area being what they
Sure,
are.
okay, I see what
yeah.
you're saying, yep, okay.
I'll leave that to Curtis and Nick to,
they're gonna be doing a lot of digging over there. That's a big oak tree.
I know. I know.
And Brian, what was your point about having two bedrooms?
I guess.
Approving it as one, is that what you're trying to do?
square footage on
I guess when you look at the enabling legislation, 452473, a two-bedroom ADU of at least 1,200 square feet or 60% of the floor area of the principal dwelling, whichever is less.
If you read it, please read it slowly and clearly. At least 1,200 square feet or 60%.
Of the floor area of the principal dwelling, whichever is less. I just
So
didn't.
that, is that a max, Brian?
A two-bedroom ADU of at least 1,200 square feet or 60% of the floor area of the principal dwelling, whichever is less.
It's permitted by right.
Correct.
So we're fine on that.
Yeah, because the house is what, 14?
Yeah, 13.
13,
So
25.
60% of 13 is at least 750, close to 750.
Yeah.
600?
6 change, and we're at 5.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Lawyers are good at that.
795.
Yeah.
Good questions. I think we need a lesson on the ADUs.
On what, Mr. Chairman?
We need a lesson for the board on the ADUs, all the changes that are happening.
It's hard to keep up with. The changes are fast and furious all the way around. Not only you lawyers, land use practitioners, you can't even.
And it's different in towns, right? I was talking to the
Yeah.
building official in Woonsocket.
Their
He said-
interpretation, how they do it.
How they-
their
yes,
issues around
exactly.
town. It's hard to get a copy of the current law.
You know it is.
Forget green books anymore that I'm used to looking at. They're not up to date. They're changing things so fast.
Well, there are going to be changes come January too.
Yeah, more.
More changes. But I mean, it's basically, since we have quite a few of them that we've done already, it's pretty simple, you know, as far as the ADUs go.
Yeah, and this, again, this is 592 square feet. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, like I said,
Shadow anything, it's not gonna stick out like this. So it's a nice little apartment.
Mhm.
and it's in character with the neighborhood.
Are there any more questions from the board? Any questions from anybody else? If there's no questions, I can open this up to the public. Is anybody here to talk in favor of the applicant? There's nobody here. Is there anybody here that want talking against the applicant? There is no one here.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we take this under advisement.
We have to close the public hearing first.
What's that?
Do we have to make a motion to open and close the public hearing, or is it just?
I was gonna, we should do public first before we,
No, so you opened it to the public for this
Yes.
particular hearing.
Yes.
There's nobody here, so you can, as Brian was just saying, close the public hearing as it relates to this
to
application.
this application. Okay.
And then you'll.
I need a motion to close the public meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
So,
Okay, now, the board is open to the public for any comments. Is there anybody here that wants to make any comments?
You can do that at the end of it. That's, it's kind of
Okay,
like
just wanted to make sure where it falls.
it's gonna, the public comment generally will fall at the end of the meeting.
After we made all our decisions?
Exactly.
I'll make a
Just
motion.
before adjournment, I guess.
Right.
Okay. Just
Make
trying to
a
get that
motion,
squared
Mr.
away.
Chairman, that we take this under advisement.
Second.
All in favor?
aye.
Right. So we need a motion to go into deliberations.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. 425-019. What comments do we have that we want to address with this?
Mr.
Brian,
Chair.
you had a few.
Yep, just the removal of the physical door between,
To the closet, right?
no,
Closet can stay.
closet can stay, but the door between the kitchen and the study, just leave it as an opening.
Oh,
Right now, you're just doing a general discussion.
They can frame it to accommodate a door, but I just don't want the physical door.
okay.
And then addressing increases in stormwater runoff associated with the new driveway and the addition.
But that doesn't include normal rain.
No, it's 1.2 inches on impervious surfaces,
Okay.
just new impervious.
Because there's no increase. There's no increase. What's ever coming off the roof would probably be in some sort of a drywall or something like that. So they really.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna leave that to whatever her designers choose, but the increase from a grass surface to now impervious driveway and roof, 1.2 inches times that square footage is what they need to account for. It won't be a lot.
Not at all.
Okay.
So you're gonna exit and look for a motion?
Yes. We're discussing, yeah.
I'm
Okay.
all set.
So we have two items, remove of door to the kitchen and study. Have the engineer address the increase in driveway in addition for rainwater.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to pass this application approved with those two items that have been mentioned.
Two can,
Two conditions. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. Okay.
Would be public comment before we
And-
close the meeting?
so, hold on, no, we're gonna review the board's recent zoning, review with the board the recent zoning enabling act changes.
What you-
Is there a timeline for when the planning board will make a recommendation to the council to amend the zoning ordinance to incorporate this?
Say that again?
So my guess is these now have to get incorporated into the zoning ordinance. Especially,
Eventually.
I guess, kind of what's the timeline? Because I think it needs to happen sooner than later, because I think we're going to start seeing a steady stream of ADUs.
Yeah, there's a lot of changes.
So, I mean, generally speaking, there's not an exact timeline because there's continued changes ongoing under the enabling act for zoning. So the planning board, the planning department is trying to get to them as they can because it's not easy to do it in a piecemeal fashion. So they've been kind of depending. These are just right now what you're looking at, I believe, Chris, in this packet, that's state enabling changes. You want to come up?
So these are the, right, state enabling changes, for instance, the one we're discussing tonight about adjusting lot coverage and setbacks has actually been in effect since the beginning of last year. It was effective January 1, 2024, so 452438B, what we're discussing tonight about adjustment, has already been in effect for a year. So, point taken there that we need to, so to actually amend the zoning ordinance periodically, so we can do what's already a law, and then look at what's upcoming.
Are they in any sort of the cycle right now to start to add the criteria where everything that was kind of special use got?
Right, that has
Not permitted.
been discussed, and so they've all been changed to no's. We've then gone back and looked at some of them, and there are criteria, for instance, for hotels, even though it was changed to no.
Like the chicken coops is one that probably would have been applicable if the applicant had.
Yeah.
So the chicken coop is a little bit different because the planning board recommended a zoning amendment that the town council will be considering probably either this month, I think it might be on, that has revised and reorganized animal raising non-commercial.
Non-commercial.
So depending on if that other application that you didn't hear tonight comes back, if that
That's
ordinance
kind of
passes.
where I'm going, because with a new application and the timing, they may now have to deal with whatever. I mean, right now it'd be a use variance, I would presume.
Unless the new law, unless the new
It's
change
not
allows
permitted.
it.
Yeah, in the case where they're not permitted, that we changed them to the town changed what was required to have a special use permit to knows when it wasn't well-defined in the zoning ordinance, what the criteria were for the special use permit. That has been, we're reviewing that again. Certain ones of them seem have a sufficient definition of what the criteria are for this special use permit. But yes, it was across the board changing to no's because of the lack of a criteria, and then there's been the argument that that would mean automatic approval versus automatic denial, so they were just changed to not permitted. That will again get reviewed, and possibly the special use permit criteria will then be developed. That would be done by the town planner, the planning board, to actually create those so that.
The council can then adopt.
Right.
Chris, what were some of the highlights you were trying to explain in here?
So a lot of what we discussed tonight about the ADUs, the 900 versus the 60% of the principal structure leased, which that came up tonight for 1 and 2 bedroom. That's new. There was just hard minimums and hard maximums in the.
And did they change anything on the connectivity to water or sewer? Has that changed? You know how it used to be you had to connect to the same, or you had to have a separate one? Did they change that, or is it the,
I don't
can an
think that
applicant
has, I
vary?
don't think that has changed. It's
I see that as
open
being,
to interpretation though. by the
that could be a
building
big issue safety-wise. So I can see it coming that you don't need to, because when the gas company doesn't want to deal with having to go through one other house, and electric company shows up as a fire there, they can't shut it off, they gotta shut off the other house.
Right, that is what the issue has been, is that
So
the
safety-wise,
utility.
it doesn't make sense to have them tied into the existing dwelling.
No, most of them now, everything is separate. You can't have separate everything, separate,
Unless it's tied to the house like this one is.
yes. But most of them, they can have a separate septic system, you know. Everything now is becoming a separate issue. They don't want it tied into the house.
So,
Can
No.
be,
They don't want you to tie it into the house. They don't want.
right,
They want-
yes, no, well, if you look in your package, section 73, 452473, Chris has it highlighted for uniform standards. Number 2, it says an ADU application, a municipality shall not. And number 3, I think Chris handed it to us.
Right here.
Yeah, they're in
There's an extra one.
folders.
Yeah, shall not
That's not perfect, I didn't have one.
So it says,
It shall not require.
so it says a municipality shall not require infrastructure improvements in connection with the ADU, including requiring basically separate water and sewer, unless they're required by the state agency for compliance. So they can stay on the same lines if they think it's proper for their development.
Right, it's usually the utility that says we don't want to put in that other line. And we can't require it, is essentially what it's saying.
It is still required that the homeowner is on the property, right?
Yes, it's owner occupied.
Has to be
That is still,
owner-occupied new house.
that's under the 252473, number 1. On an owner-occupied property, as is a reasonable accommodation for family members with disabilities
Right.
or, and it goes on. But essentially, it's a household unit, so that can be an unrelated person.
No, 'cause I was just reading that they didn't put that in there in California, and now people are turning garages into property, into ADUs on rental properties, so they have 2 on 1 lot.
One interesting thing that's happened is there's, on subdivisions that are on a single lot, question has been, can you only put 1 ADU, even if you have 8 single-family dwelling units in the subdivision that's on a single lot, like on Whipple? Can you have 1 because it's on a single lot, which it says lot, or can you have 8? And if that's the case, the 8 would then have to come either to the zoning board or the planning board for permission to put the other 7, for instance, if that was the plan. If it was presented up front, then that would be, it could be addressed in the initial review versus coming in after the fact. But nonetheless, it has, 1 would then be allowed by right, and the rest, it seems from our interpretation, would have to be given some kind of special use permit or relief of some kind.
And they also, what's also changed for this year's zoning from the state level that's come down is if you have a substandard lot of, say, 8,000 square feet or 10,000 square feet, and you wanted to subdivide that lot, there's a possibility that that lot could still be subdivided. So long as what you do is you take all the square footage of the different up 200-foot abutting properties
And you get to take the average of it.
and take the average of all those square foot of, so if you have 50 abutting properties and the average comes out to 100,000, and it's like 2,000 square foot lot, say, you can then subdivide your lot to the size of the average of the houses in the 200 lot radius,
And a 200 lot radius?
200-foot radius.
Oh, okay.
So 200-foot radius, so that, but to a minimum. So at that point, you say, there's 100,000 square feet of lots in my 200-foot radius, and there's 50 lots. So all the lots technically average out to 2,000 square feet. I have a 10,000 square foot lot. I can cut my lot down and divide it so that you end up with 5 lots of 2,000, except there's a minimum threshold of, I think, 3,000 square feet. So you could technically take your 10,000 square foot lot and break it into 3,333 foot square foot lots, if the average lots around you come up. So if you have a 50,000 square foot lot and the lots around you average out to 15,000 square feet, you could technically divide your lot into 3 15,000 square foot lots now.
And also, David, if anything was merged by virtue of, for tax purposes or anything, they can be unmerged now.
And that's something that you've seen, Attorney Keene's been here a few times on that through the years.
So are you saying if the town merged the lots, 2 lots together, and you never asked for that, you can?
You
Unmerged
can now unmerge
and
it.
go back to what they originally were. Platted lots of record back in
Yeah,
1950.
way back.
Did I
Yeah,
get
because-
correct too, that like a townhouse, the
Yeah.
separation can be like the border
Well,
between the two
basically
properties can be
now-
on
Basically
Separation.
now what they're doing
each
is,
townhouse.
is with that 0 lot line.
Yeah, get the 0 lot line, yeah.
So now every condo has its own lot. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot more changes as soon as they get back into session. And it's going to happen quickly.
So what if, just for instance, go back to your example, David, if you could take it to 3,000 square feet, but you'd have, 2,000, but the minimum was 3. So you'd have, say, 3,000 square foot lots.
If you wanted.
What would you do with that? Would you be able to put something there?
Yes.
Is
Yes.
that what you're saying? You can,
For 5 townhouses.
I have a house right now.
on your lot,
I have
just
a-
straight up.
Well, you would divide it, you'd basically split that property. I don't even know if you have to split it and do 5 lots, or if you can then just say, here's 3,000 square feet, this is what's going on this 3,000. Here's 3,000 square feet, this is what's gonna go on this 3,000. Here's 3,000, what's going on.
In a residential neighborhood, like just.
Yes.
I have a house right now. The zoning board denied him like 5 or 6 years ago. He came back in, and the maximum house that I could give him is 20 by 20. No zoning, no anything. He built it, 20 by 20, 3 stories. Looks odd in the neighborhood, but
No,
20,
no height restrictions, just go.
34 feet. 3 stories.
Did you say those?
Now think about it. 3-story, 20 by 20. Normal condo is maybe 14, 16 by 38 or 40. He put up a house to stay out of zoning, and basically, it was a fight amongst the neighbors that, they denied him
Didn't
5
want
years
them,
ago.
yeah, I can understand
They
why.
denied him 5 years ago, so he came in, he said, what can I build without going to the zoning board? I said, the house you can build is 20 by 20. And he built it.
So Chris, if somebody came before us with an AUD and they're on a septic, right, and they want 2 bedrooms, the existing septic has to be able to handle that.
Yes.
Yes, because that's still,
Or
that's
they
the
have to put a
state,
new one,
right, so
right?
yeah, the bedroom count needs to be, it had to have been designed for 4, say they already had 2 and they wanted 2 more, they were fine.
So there's no
If
relief
it was
on that.
built for
No.
3 and they wanted 4, they
What
would
has
have
to
to
happen,
get
Mr. Hunt,
it.
usually, they'll make him put in
Separate
another
septic.
septic system.
So you need the land then too.
Right, because to increase, let's say you have a 3-bedroom house, and you want to go to 5 bedrooms. To change that system, you're looking at over $40,000. And that's why they're going a separate septic system just for the AUD. But of course, to your point taken, they have to have the land to do it. So there's,
Yeah, well, that's good to know.
That's the same with the house we did, remember the $1 million house? The guy put a huge garage in, and he had to put a septic system in for it.
those above ground,
Yeah.
1.1.
And Chris, you have this community development
These are
workshop?
things that might be coming down the line, like interesting, like townhouses with 0 lot lines. So,
Is that
that would
middle
work.
missing? Is that middle missing
yeah,
housing?
so it'd be like, let's say you have a 5-unit townhouse. You'd have 5 lots, they'd have 0 lot lines, would be built right up and have a shared wall. The only place that the setbacks would then be in effect is on the ends of the 2 units, in the last zone. So you could have, the point being, they want to increase the amount of housing units.
Right.
And a big movement within zoning now is that there'll be no more single-family zoning. Right? Every zoning ordinance has to be amended so that multifamily housing, at least duplex, is allowed in every zone. That's what the movement is. The other thing is that's interesting, besides that one, the missing middle one, is the co-living, where you could have a single home with as many bedrooms as you can muster. So you could have big houses, you could have 10 bedrooms, rent them all out individually to 10 different people. Again, creates lots of affordable housing, has some other ramifications, but they
Unforeseen.
want that, and that would be something that they would be interested in.
It's cold.
So are you saying that somebody could put,
That's gonna be,
like, somebody could attach another house to their existing home, like make your home?
Or
Can a single family make their home a duplex?
Yes, that could be, you could do that.
Potentially
Or you
put
could
in a-
essentially have, if you have a big house, you could create bedrooms and then rent those bedrooms.
co-living household.
Well, years ago, we called it a rooming house.
Yes, rooming.
So it's,
Right.
yes, it would have shared kitchen and,
We're back to the east side.
yeah, but it would, yeah, it would allow you to have lots of affordable housing in those single-family dwelling units on big lots.
So what if you didn't want it within your dwelling and you wanted to, can somebody potentially construct, like a house on your house to make a
I
separate?
think the one thing they're not gonna
Like to the
allow-
side of it, I'm
right,
saying.
the one thing they're not gonna allow is 2 principal residential structures. I think that's what the limit's gonna be.
That's where they draw the line.
Right, so the ADU.
ADU
has
within
to be
this,
small and it's
right.
acceptable.
Smaller.
I think you can create duplexes, but I think you're not going to be able, it seems to be where they're drawing the line is at two principal structures on a single lot. If it's not, if it hasn't gone through the subdivision process as a minor land development or major
But if they're
land development,
attached,
then it's a
like
duplex
if you went over
or
your
a
garage,
townhouse.
your house,
Yes.
you got a garrison, right? So your principal house is here, your family room, and your garage. So from your family room all the way over your garage is a second unit.
Yeah. I told my wife that.
Yep, that's what I.
I got one in my neighborhood right now. It's magnificent. But he went from the because we built a house, went from the family room right over the garage. So, I mean, they did away with the single-family neighborhood.
But
So-
I'm saying you can't go from forget the top, you can't go from the garage to the edge of your property line, build something right there.
Well,
Now, you
because
can't go to the edge,
You can't.
but if you could, let's say, if you had another unit in the middle, it would be essentially a townhouse. But again, you'd have to have separate lots, so you can't have it on one lot. You'd be making a triplex, which might be allowed, because they want to have multifamily housing on single lots.
And how this affects the board is a lot of those, even if, like Chris said, that you needed some relief for something you were doing, most of these things are gonna fall under a planning project in some way as a development in some
Yes.
manner. So the planning board and the planning department is who's gonna be looking at both the planning and the zoning aspect of it.
I mean, some of these amendments would have taken that one that Bob Baldwin would have basically made it by right. We never would have seen it.
there's 36 units going there.
So they would be coming to us for like, say,
Side
Yeah,
yard,
yeah.
really, if that.
Like what you saw tonight.
or,
But basically, I think
even the,
the-
would they
the
even a septic?
these smarter engineers and architects are gonna make it work. So they just go to the planning board for total pass.
Unified development.
Unified development. It all falls under unified development.
So basically.
Yeah, which is in there, the unified developments in your packages, if you want to read about it.
So it all looks like a Rubik's Cube at the end of the day. Everybody's property will look like a Rubik's, all different,
Well,
like
that's-
phones, you build up
I mean,
here and.
Ryan probably knows, there's some engineering models out there for skyscrapers that have small footprints, and then they look like a deck of cards that was turned. So the top is actually wider than the base, and it's just because it was engineered. It's like a marvel of engineering, but those exist, So,
And what they're doing in Boston now, they're
Yeah.
building 5-story houses, single families, the penthouse. And there's all these bedrooms, like 15 bedrooms with all parking underneath. So the house is on stilts, parking underneath, and they're going up 5 and 6 stories because they're within the city of Boston.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
That's one of the other changes that's in
It's coming.
this adaptive reuse and affordable is anything 2 bedrooms or less, you only have to provide one space.
all right, you
parking
can't
space.
restrict based on parking.
Which I don't agree with at all. Because if you're married, you're gonna tell your wife she can't have a car, there'd be a divorce.
Well, see, they want to change neighborhoods. They want new urbanism. They want you to be able, they want to have walkable
Yeah, I
communities
know,
and.
bike paths and all that.
Walkable communities is the biggest thing,
Yeah, but you know, we
Planning
know
right now.
something,
Yeah.
and I always say this because I'm older than everybody here. In 1960, Rhode Island had 1 million people, population. 2025, Rhode Island has 1 million people. However, now we have a housing shortage. It's just, when everybody, only because our family, when we built Greenbrier, okay, and my father-in-law was so intent on preserving this one-family neighborhood because he wanted for children, that could play outside and go in the street with their bikes to have this whole concept. Now, it's no longer this one family neighborhood. The people that came before us, Jimmy Bellini, on those two little lots, okay, were never buildable because of DEM, okay? And believe it or not, they're two beautiful, small homes that are there. They're already sold, already occupied. But the whole thing is that the preservation, like all of these older developments, you know, let's go to Lee's Plat in North Providence. Let's go to Gray's Estates. Now, picture Gray's Estates. There isn't one thing less than $1 million and up having an AUD that could be rented to anybody in Gray's Estates. They totally destroyed the single-family neighborhood. And that's why as you ride by everywhere in Smithfield and in Johnston and in Cranston, for sale, for sale, for sale, for sale. You know, and, you know, to get into Narragansett, that's, forget that. That's $1 million and up. You certainly are not gonna go to Newport. So Warren, Tiverton, all those other towns starting to get a lot of this population making that move. It's just, you know, forget Jamestown. You're not going into Jamestown at all. I mean, it's tough. It's a tough situation. But I think the single-family plats that originated in the 60s for that reason, where everybody migrated, you know, from Silver Lake, Federal Hill, they went to Cranston, they went to Johnston, they went to North Providence. The second generations went from North Providence to Smithfield. You know, it just destroyed that single-family neighborhood. It's gone. It's gone.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we adjourn.
Hold on. We gotta make sure we opened it to public comment. Pursuant to ordinance. Anybody?
Motion to close public comment.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Mr. Hunt's recommendation, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, approved. Aye. Approved. Good to go.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving. I can't believe we're saying that.
I know, huh? It's years ago by fast.
Sure did.
So that unmerging thing that he was talking about, you've got the situation in Lincoln now. 102 lots got merged. Got pretty